try. Take this, point it at the plane, and click once. Excellent, thank you. Okay, so right now you'll see the wheels coming out at the front and right here in the center. So engineers had to design a way to tuck the wheels inside of the plane so that they could only be brought out when they're absolutely needed for flight. And this is because they noticed after many years that when wheels are permanently fixated to the outside of the plane, this creates drag and air resistance and makes the flight less efficient. So if you look above our Boeing airline, you'll see that green and red plane. That's one of the very first passenger planes, and it's called a biplane. And on that model, the wheels are fixated permanently on the outside. So they were able to study the flight of some of these earlier planes to design more modern models here. Yeah. That is, I think it's some, I'm not exactly sure, but the red light you're talking about, it's probably some type of warning light or something to make the people on the ground aware that are directing the plane to its landing spot. So now that our wheels are out, we're still moving at about 500 to 600 miles per hour. And if you've ever been on a plane before, you know when the pilot announces that he's about to begin the landing sequence, you're never actually on the ground until about 30 minutes later. So it's a very gradual process. You can't automatically slow down to zero. You have to gradually slow down. But as you're doing that, you still want to stay in the air. So the plane needs some help creating lift as it's slowing down. So let's see what we use to do that. So go ahead and point that at the plane and click once. Excellent job. So those are our proven flaps that are engaged, and I heard flaps mentioned earlier. Yes, these are a very important part of landing because they change the flow of air over and underneath the wing to help create lift as we're slowing down. But again, it's a gradual process, so as they slow down, they need even more help creating lift. So go ahead, take this. Do you want to do it? Point it at the plane and click once. Excellent, thank you. So those are our segmented flaps being engaged at about 25 degrees. And again, those are going to be engaged whenever the pilot reaches a specific speed checkpoint that, they need those flaps for. This will change, based on the altitude and based on the wind speeds and a lot of other factors. But they have a lot of different things here that they can engage to help them as they're slowing down. So again, it's a gradual process. So go ahead, click that one to point it at the plane. And now they're engaged at 35 degrees. And that's not their final position, but that's their final position for now. So let's assume that we've gotten to the target speed to start navigating towards the runway. So let's talk about the different directions a plane can move. It can move up and it can move down. We call that the pitch. It can also move left and right. We call that the yaw motion. And then it can also roll, which we're more used to seeing with fighter jets, but our commercial airlines, they actually do roll as well to help with changing directions, not just the yaw left and right. And in order to create these different motions, there's different parts of the plane that have to be engaged. So the very first one, I want everyone to focus your direction, your attention to that wing there. And it's going to take a little bit for it to engage, but just keep looking. It will go in a second. There we go. So that little piece that just moves slightly, we'll have to use our imagination because normally that would also happen on the left wing as well, and those are called the ailerons. And when those are engaged, that helps to produce the rolling motion of the plane. Excellent. So now I want everyone to focus your attention on the back here. Okay, let's see. There we go. Do we see that top part moving right there in the back of the wing? So that is called the elevator. When the elevator is engaged, that helps produce the pitch motion of the plane. So the ups and the down. So we've covered rolling, pitch, up and down. What's the last one we're looking for?
Yeah, left, right.
Yeah, the left and right motion of the plane. Okay, so again, focus your attention to the back there. And let's see what happens. There we go. So it's moving right now, left and right, and that's called the rudder. And the rudder, when that's engaged, that creates the yaw motion of the plane, the left and right. So good job, everyone. But now we're on the ground, we're on the runway, we're moving really fast. What do we need to do? Brake. Yeah, we need to brake. So let's see. Excellent. So that part that opened up right there, those are called the reverse thrusters, and that sends a very large force in the opposite direction of the plane's motion to help slow it down. But because it's so big, it needs a lot more help than that. So you can also see the wings opened up, wheels as well. So it takes a lot to slow down a plane of such a large size. But thanks everyone for